All right, so here's what you're going to need. You're going to need your piece of foam. You're going to need a pencil. You're going to need scissors from somewhere. And you're going to need your sketchbook. That's to start. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get our foam piece, and we're going to do our scrimshaw on this eventually. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make this into the scrimshaw piece. So it needs to be whalebone. So more than likely it's going to be teeth, whale teeth. So you could do a giant tooth. We don't want to cut too much off of this. So I can draw my outline of my tooth, and I can see here. I'm going to stay to close to the edge and then go up to a point, and then on the other side do this. So now I have like most of my printing surface ready to go. So I'm going to give myself my tooth. You might want to do it on a bone. So you could do it where you go and you're going to draw this bone shape on there. So you might want to draw a giant bone shape. So once you do that, then we'll be able to trace it. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to do a whale tooth. You might do a bone, but I'm going to go ahead and cut my tooth out of this. So I'm going to keep most of my surface because I don't want to lose surface area. Let's see here. Got to come to a point, maybe a little round, just like something like that. That's my giant whale tooth. And that's going to be the surface that I'm going to trace into my sketchbook so that I am able to know what size to draw. I'm using this as a template. Now, I know I can start to design and sketch what I want to do on my whale tooth before I use my foam, because you want to have a really good idea of how you're going to space out your print. So two things to think about: how can you use all this space? And the second thing to think about is a balance between positive and negative space. Where are you marking? And where are you leaving open? Well, we're back. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need your matrix or your surface. This is what you're going to be printing, your whalebone. So you cut that out, you push down all the foam, you checked and make sure that all that area has been pushed down to wherever there, you have pushed down. That will not transfer ink to your page. You're going to need these two things, black and white.
I got my black and white.
You're going to need your black paper. And then if you have any extra white paper, you could use extra white paper as well. We're going to start with white printing, and here's the way you're going to do it. You're going to use your broad brush here, and you're going to, this is the trickiest part. You have to add white paint onto your surface. You cannot add it too thick, and it can't dry out. It can't be too thin. So this is really, really tricky. So let me show you kind of the way that this is going to look. All right, so here I am. I need to get the right amount of white. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get it on my brush, and then I'm gonna find the areas that need painting. So I'll go ahead and I'm just gonna paint right over, and it's okay if I go into the background area. I paint in the raised foam. I am painting just the raised foam.
You said it was okay if you went over some of the pressed down parts.
I am, yeah, look, see how I'm going over my eyeballs? That's okay. It's not going to print in those eyeballs. See how I'm going off into the background? That's okay. I'm just getting it nice and even, right? Do you see this motion? It's going nice and even. I'm not going to paint the whole thing, but I am going to paint all the raised areas. Okay. Once I get it nice and even, I don't want that paint to dry. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll put down my black paper and I'll gently put this down in the right spot. And then I'm going to use something round, like a brayer, which you probably do not have. So I'll use a Crayola marker, and I'm just going to roll right over the surface. And I think I got too much there.
Oh.
So you can see when I rolled over this area, it got too much extra white paint. The eyes turned out pretty good. So did the mouth. I'm pretty happy with that. On my next print, I'm going to try and reduce some of this. It's called chatter. So this chatter is marks left on the plate. And so my plate, I can see, did I forget to, down by the handle, did I forget to push some of that down? I think I did. You may begin doing your first print. Now remember, your first print is just an artist proof. It's just proving that you can do this. I'm going to fix a couple of things off mine, and then I'm going to do another one.
Too hard, I pressed like a medium amount, and I got this.
Wow.
Yeah, you sort of want to use you sort of want it to glide across the paper.
Right.
So it's not too easy, but it's easy enough.
What are you doing, my bird?
Did you get this?
Well, since mine had design in the body, the first one I forgot to paint in the body because I thought that I had pushed down all of it, but I forgot that some of it was up. So then I just painted over the whole thing, and it just didn't, because I pressed it down hard, it just didn't go in the places I didn't press down.
Excellent.
I'm doing last moment press downs.
Okay.
Mine turned out really well.
The second one?
I think the cracks would work very well. And
Wow.
It turned out that they worked pretty nicely. And all I need is probably actually more paint. With this one, I was worried I was going to get too much paint. And so I only did 2 layers. I think I maybe should have done 3, or I should have made those 2 layers thicker.
On ahead, I've reapplied paint here. Now this time, when I press it down, I am not going to use a marker. I'm just going to push it like a stamp. That could become a problem. I'm just going to push and rub. This is called burnishing. Let's pull it up slowly. Different.
That's true, but that's okay. I think it's different.
That's what's so great about printmaking, is that every one of your prints is a little bit different, even though it's based off of the same matrix. So you have, in printmaking, you have this hand made quality, even though it's a process that you're doing over and over and over again.
Yeah, right.
All right, once it touches the paper, don't let your matrix move. You can either rub with your finger, burnish, rub and burnish, same word, or it's different word, same meaning. Burnish is to press down, or use a Crayola marker to slowly roll with pressure, but not too much, just enough pressure over the raised areas. There's nothing raised on my bottom of my matrix. I'm not going to rub there. And then take it off. Now, it's white on white. You can't really see what happened there, but you can do either method in order to.
Mine is sad.
Yeah, the first one probably won't turn out very well. You have to, it looks like you need to apply you have too much paint. You need to thinly push it over. Push
Just
it over.
enough paint.
Printmaking is doing it over and over and over again. All right, I'm finished with all my prints. This is kind of what's left of my whalebone. Now, with Scrimshaw, the main piece of art is the whalebone or the matrix itself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a paper towel and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna kind of do a little water while this is still wet, and I'm gonna kind of clean up my skull, and then I'm gonna have my whalebone, Scrimshaw, also be an art piece. In just a moment, I'll show you how to addition your prints. So with the pencil, you're going to sign and number your prints. Finn, tell us about it.
The first one didn't go so well. Actually, this is the first one. Didn't go well at all. Finally got more paint on it. Did kind of good. Then I did this one and I put tons of paint on it, and it did really well.
Excellent. Thank you. So you got maybe 3 or 5 or 7 prints. Here's what you're gonna do. We're gonna clean up my actual block. So a little bit of water, clean the edges. Cleans a lot better when it's wet, or when the paint is wet. So I'm just gonna kind of clean up a little bit, rub it, burnish this. This is what sailors would do, is they would use their scrimshanders is what I think they called them. They would kind of rub around. I'm gonna add some like kind of grays around there. Okay. Now, what you need to do is you're going to sign all your prints. So whether it's black or it's white, you need to sign yours. And so you need to make
Not gonna work.
called an addition. So here's how you make your addition. You get a sharp pencil, because you're going to sign it with a sharp pencil. And you're going to go ahead, what is the name of this art piece? So what we need to do is we need to be able to addition these prints. So what I'm going to do is, what is this called? I'm going to go ahead and put on the bottom left, in quotation marks, I'm going to put the name of my art piece. What is it called? Let me get a Sharpie so you can see how I'm additioning this. This is called, how about Death's Head? Whoa, that's a good one. So I write the title.
Mr. Neal, what if you have no room on your bottom?
Well, you can write it on the back. And then here's what I do. I go ahead and on the other side, I do a signature. And this is, how many prints did I make? I made 5 prints. This was my first out of my 5 black prints. So 1 out of 5. So on the bottom, it says the title, it says my signature, and it says which print it was, 1 out of 5. Then you do it 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. And then you have a print edition, and you can give them to your friends.